What is going on, guys? I'm Nick and this is Exotics Anonymous, and today we are going to be talking about the brand new Ferrari 296 Speciale. Now, the Speciale is the new hardcore, lightweight, track-focused version of the Ferrari 296 GTB, which has been out for a few years now, and this is basically the version of the car for the people that really want to drive on track or just want sportier driving. And of course, alongside the coupe, they've also released the convertible, which is the 296 Speciale Aperta, which is the 296 GTS more special hardcore version. Even though convertible doesn't really make sense for the track, these are typically the ones that hold their value a little better and people want for that open top driving experience. Now, before we get too far into the video, I know you see the McLaren flag behind me, and I do want to point out this Ferrari shield on my jacket so I don't seem too biased. This just happened to me when I was using for a backdrop, and I just wanted to throw something on just to show it's not a completely one-sided conversation, especially in case I say anything that may seem critical in this video, although they've done a lot of good here, so there's hope. Power is up and weight is down on the new 296 Speciale. Power is up from 819 horsepower in the regular GTB to 868 horsepower and up to 557 pound-feet of torque, up from 546 in the normal GTB. So they've definitely increased the power. This car has all new aero and weight savings and what they're calling gamma wings on the back of the car to no doubt make the performance more impressive and more capable both on road and on track. But the 296 GTB was already an impressive car. It was fast. Nobody was complaining it needed more power. Many people preferred to drive it instead of the SF90 just because it felt more connected, whereas the SF90 they were saying felt dull and numb. So there was definitely a good place to start with the regular 296, and they improved the steering wheel. There's no more haptic steering wheel. There's actual buttons on there. That's great. That's everybody's biggest complaint, including mine, for the last several years. So it's great to see that Ferrari fixed that and listen to their customers. But what I wanted to talk about in this video is, has Ferrari gone too far? Have they sold their customers too many Romas and too many cars that they don't really want, to the point where people might not be buying this car? Because the regular 296 was already $500,000. If you go higher in specs, I heard you can get them up to 600. How much is this thing going to be, where it's supposed to just be the special version of that car? Is this going to be a $750,000 baby special Ferrari? I don't know, but the market doesn't love the regular 296. I mean, they're sitting almost under $300,000, 2 or 3 years old. That's unheard of for a Ferrari. I mean, people are losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in depreciation. Is this car going to be any different? It's not limited production. So just because it's special, are people just going to buy it? I mean, people are turning down the 12 cylinders because not limited, not really a great looking car, and just it's one of many Ferraris the last few years that are not holding their value like Ferraris have in the past. And now, before I get too critical on Ferrari here, I actually like what they did with this car. It's probably my favorite car they've launched in the last 3 or 4 years. The last thing I really liked was the 812 Competizione. So for me to like this car, I think is pretty impressive because it is still a hybrid. But I've been in a regular 296 and it's a very fast car and it's pretty fun to drive, even though it's all, hybridized and way too powerful, honestly. But this car looks better than the regular 296. It sounds a lot better. The revving clips just came out today and it sounds great. So there's hope for this car. It's just, is it too much money? Have Ferrari burned their customers the last few years, kind of like Maserati did the last decade, basically? Maybe, maybe not. But this does seem like one of the best cars to drive anyways that they've come out with in a long time. For a lot of Ferrari customers, they're not going to care. This is the game they signed up to play. They know they have to buy certain models to get to models like this. And this time it seems like they're being rewarded. This is a good car. I'd be very happy if I had one coming. I would be a little worried about the depreciation, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I know a lot of customers that had the F80 coming are not super happy and really unhappy with their Dodici injuries and just a lot of other issues they've been having. So is this car worth buying brand new if I was a Ferrari customer? I would say no, because chances are it's going to be $700,000-$800,000. They're not a limited number. They're probably going to make them until they run out of orders. So they're going to depreciate. They're probably going to lose $200,000 if they end up being in the 6s and 7s. This car will be $300,000 or $400,000 in no time. So why buy one new? Really just to tick your Ferrari portfolio box, I guess. That's kind of the only reason. And maybe if you wanted to spec it exactly how you wanted it, I could see doing it. If money means absolutely nothing and you don't care and you just want every option exactly how you want it, fine. But otherwise, this car is going to be a steal in a couple years. But right out the gates, we're probably going to see them, well, they'll go up right when they come out, and then they'll just nosedive, I would think, for a year or two after that, just like the last 296 has done, because it's not that different. It looks a little better. I'm sure it's a little faster, but really, I mean, how much more power do you need? 820 horsepower going up to 870 almost, Now, with all that being said, it probably is still the best new Ferrari to drive and probably used to, just because those buttons are back on the steering wheel. But the car sounds really good. I'm sure it's going to drive really good. It's fast. It's going to be impressive. It looks good. So there's not a lot not to like about it other than the price tag, but that's to be expected nowadays with the price of new cars as it is, especially at this level of the market. And very quickly, let's just talk about a couple competitors of this car. We'll start with McLaren Artura, their hybrid supercar. Great car, about $200,000 less than a regular 296. So you're looking, closer to like the 250 to 300 range for an Artura, whereas a regular 296 you're looking like 450 to 500. And this new car, obviously, probably closer to 700,000. So definitely a different price bracket, and also power bracket. The Artura is down about, I think, 150 horsepower. They make 670 now. They make 700 with the updated ones. So it's a different level, but I mean, you're probably getting like 90% of the performance out of the Artura and saving 200 grand, but you're not getting a Ferrari brand anymore, and the maintenance packages are a little different, the warranty's a little different, whatever, pick whatever brand you like better, basically. So that's McLaren. We're probably still a couple of years, maybe a year or two out from seeing the Artura LT, which I'm sure will be an impressive car at the time, and that'll be a great rival when it comes out, but we're not there yet. And then the other car we have to talk about is the Lamborghini Temerario, which another Italian hybrid, supercar. A V8 in that car, twin turbo V8 that revs up to 10,000 RPM, so that's cooler, I would say, than the engine in this 296, and that's just the regular one. I'm sure there will be a Temerario Performante or Temerario STO eventually, so that'll be an exciting car when that comes out. Price wise, a lot closer to the 296. I think a Temerario is going to be about 450, 500,000, and that's not a special one, that's just the production car, so I'm sure the special one will be even more down the line. So two other options. This 296 here sooner, probably years sooner than the competition, so I'm sure that's going to help it a little bit. We'll see how much of a difference that makes in the long term when these cars are on the second-hand market. And I did say we'd touch a little more on depreciation. If you go look at an SF90 in the US market, stickers were between, $5, $6, maybe $700,000. Now they're sitting, mid threes, $400,000-ish. So even if you bought one for sticker, you're down, over $100,000 on your money. But for a couple years, people were paying $7, $8, $900,000. A couple of them sold for $1 million. Those people have lost literally the sticker price of the car in depreciation that bought them at that time. So a lot of people are fed up with Ferrari and their depreciation issues, and this car seems like it probably will have a pretty similar story. But at least this car seems better to drive and could justify that price tag a little bit. So maybe that'll help it, but there could be some upset customers here. And just to kind of start giving my final thoughts on the car, I do think Ferrari's done a lot of good here. I love that they fixed the steering wheel, they're listening to their customers. I love how it looks, I love how it sounds, I'm sure I'll love how it drives. It seems great, and the future looks bright for Ferrari if they're making these changes and maybe, undoing some of the things that people didn't like the last couple of years. I do think the car is going to depreciate quite a bit, and I think that's going to upset some people, but Ferrari's a publicly traded company now. They have slightly different priorities than they did a few years ago. So I don't think it'll be as bad as past models, but I do think it'll still have some depreciation. But these cars are going to be phenomenal after they've, done their first couple $100,000 of depreciation. One of the most exciting cars Ferrari's made in years, probably one of the most exciting hybrid supercars ever made. So a lot of good job here, Ferrari. Looking forward to seeing what they come out with next, and hopefully they can keep improving their models like this. And if they want to give me one to review, please, I'll be here. But anyways, if you could, guys, please like and subscribe and share the channel with your friends. I'd love to have you subscribe and stick around for more. And thanks for watching.